What's good? What's up, everybody? I'm so happy to have y'all here with me today for this video. It's a different video. I actually had this video on my list for a while. It was a recommendation, so I definitely don't remember who recommended it, but it is an interesting topic. It's called "Do All Multiracial People Think the Same?" And I ain't want to get into racial backgrounds and such things, because it can go on forever. Some people get offended for whatever reason if you ask them certain things about their racial identification. We all from the same group of people, y'all. For those that know, we all have the common ancestor who was founded where? In Africa. Australopithecus afarensis, aka Lucy. We are all African. Take that as you will. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification so I know when I drop some more heat for y'all. And let's get into it.
What's up, good humans? I'm so excited because we just dropped our human good collection called Surface Level. I'm wearing one of the shirts. It's literally the most comfortable thing in the world. You have to go to humangoodla.com to check out all the rest of the shirts and everything else that we have on there, but we're selling out like lightning fast. So you have to go right now, literally right now.
I do use the N-word, but I only say it when I'm around fellow black people, so my friends and my family who are black. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't look black, so when it comes out of my mouth, they're like, whoa.
Hold on, bro. Y'all started all heavy. Hey!
You're mixed race.
Woo! It's gonna be interesting.
I am mixed with African and Asian. I am more Asian than black.
She Blackanese.
My dad was from El Salvador, and my mom is half Japanese, half Jewish.
He looks
my ethnicity
more
is
Hispanic.
Filipino and black. I do feel more inclined to my black side more than my Filipino side.
My mother is white and my dad is Iranian. All throughout high school, I just pretended I was white because I looked very white.
I am
White
half
passing.
Chinese, half Russian Jewish. I never really connected to
Yeah,
either
the nose
side,
tells.
just somewhere in the middle.
My mom is Jamaican and my dad is Australian. Being mixed
Yeah,
race
he looks
is
like a
race,
mixed
so
kid.
I don't feel like I want to have to pick.
People think I'm hot because I'm mixed race.
Yeah, that's a fetish.
2, 1.
That is a fetish right there.
As a mixed black person, a lot of people are like, oh my God, like you're like light skinned, you look so nice. Like you don't look like all the other ghetto girls. And I'm like,
Oh, exactly.
what is that supposed to mean? That's my
Racist.
aunt. Like,
Exactly.
On first dates, most of the time people be like, oh, no wonder you're so attractive, or like, no wonder you're so gorgeous. And I'm just like, ugh, I don't love that reaction.
Thank
I've
you.
always found like it's like just an awkward thing to bring up in conversation because there's like all the memes where like people are like, oh, did you know like I'm mixed or whatever, and it's like bringing it up in like the natural flow of conversation is always kind of weird.
I need to see these memes.
Have you not seen like the Logic memes where he's like,
Oh,
I'm biracial?
I love
and it's
Logic.
like, you
Yes,
haven't
we
seen
know
it.
the
No! He's just always bringing up how he's like half black, and that's like what the meme is.
It is.
I'm allowed to say racial slurs as long as I'm part of that identity.
Nah, commit.
1, go.
Go ahead, commit, bro. Commit. You already was ready to step.
Me personally, I do not say the N-word. I just don't. It just doesn't flow out right. But like for my Asian side, obviously I can call my like fellow girlies chinks and stuff. But like obviously if someone else said that, you get the fist.
I agree. I do use the N-word, but I only say it when I'm around fellow black people, so my friends or my family who are black. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't look black, so when it comes out of my mouth, they're like, whoa.
I try my best to only use the N-word around like my black friends just because it creates this like weird air when I'm with like white people. It's a slippery slope that I don't like to go down.
Probably makes them really uncomfortable.
And it actually, like, more than you think, it's not even uncomfortable. A lot of them think it's really cool, and then some people will feel entitled to do that, and then you just don't want to have that conversation.
They gonna catch the hands, bro.
It's like a lot of Asian people like to go into black culture sometimes.
Yes.
Yes.
I did get into a little bit of an altercation in high school for calling white people colonists. That was the thing.
Yes.
And people were like, that's a racial slur. I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
A racial slur.
Personally, I'm
Colonizers.
not comfortable using any slurs. If I haven't heard those slurs towards me, then maybe I am not in a position to reclaim them.
How you pass is more important than your actual race. 3, 2, 1.
How you pass is more important than your actual race. In this world, at times,
In
yeah.
America today, walking down the street, it matters what you look like. People are gonna judge you based on the race that they perceive you to be. When I walk down the street, people aren't gonna look at me the same way as they look at someone who's perceived as black. And so I just wanna really acknowledge the reality of that.
I wouldn't disagree with you at all, but at the same time, I think the most important thing is just how you grew up. Someone that has a black parent that doesn't appear black, they were still raised by a black person. They still everything that their parents' experience is passed down to them, whether it's through story or just through actions.
I'm actually gonna move over to this line, which is, I guess, more of a middle line, just because I can't do that, then I'm here. Never mind. So I'm on somewhat agree because I'm an actor, and when I go into casting calls, it only matters what I look like, and it only matters what race they think I am, which is a lot of times white, but sometimes I'll get called in for things that are not my ethnicity, and that's because of my career. That's what's important with that.
I've tried to hide some of my racial...
Don't say you tried to hide that you're black. Please, nobody say that.
Go.
Please, nobody say that.
Even throughout high school, I just pretended I was white completely. And there was a time when my dad picked me up from school. It was a whole thing, and people were saying oh, your dad's a terrorist.
Oh,
I have
God.
never experienced anything like that, or they'd ask me about it, they'd make bomb jokes, and it hurt to hear people say
Kids are terrible.
stuff like that about my dad.
A similar thing happened to me, when I was in elementary school. My dad came and dropped me off at school, and he's a dark-skinned black man, and he's from the hood on top of that. So he has a certain aura to him, and a lot of people look at me that's your dad, and I'm like, yeah, that's my dad, and they're like, he looks so scary, and I'm like, why does he look scary? Why should he look
Get out of
scary
here,
to you?
bro.
And the only thing that's keeping me away from this strongly disagree is because when I was younger, I just did not accept the black part of myself.
There we go.
And now I do.
I just want to say I'm really sorry to both of you that you felt you've been put in positions to feel like that. That's just such a terrible thing to tell someone. No, you can't be every part of who you are.
These past couple of years,
definitely,
I've been trying to reconnect with that part because I shoved it down for so long, and it's been really heartbreaking, the amount of Nowruzes I missed and the Ramadans I didn't celebrate because I felt so uncomfortable about that.
I think it's important you're taking the steps though. Personally, I've never tried to hide any part of me. That's always been the biggest thing for me. Growing up, I was always proud to be white and I was always proud to be black. That's just how I was raised, and that's always how I was, and I just wanted to be me. So that's what I did.
The reason I'm on this line is because Western beauty standards suck. They really, really got to me. I would be really picky about how I would do my hair and how I would part my hair. And then when I would post YouTube videos or Instagram posts, I would color correct everything to be really blue so that I didn't look yellow. And it was just I didn't want to post a photo of me outside because I thought my eyes looked too Asian. A lot of internalized things that made me hate myself and my appearance. And now I feel much more accepting of being mixed and being everything that I am, but I am here because I have felt like I wanted to hide a part of me, because it would have been easier for me.
I agree. When I was younger, I used to want to be lighter. I used to get made fun of. I would always get the question, are you adopted? You're not Asian. And it just made me feel so bad about myself that I just was so confused because I didn't fit in any single pocket of anybody in any friend groups. I couldn't hang out with the Chinese kids because they're like, you don't look Chinese. I don't hang out with the black kids because I don't sound black. And they say I'm whitewashed. So my whole entire life, I've literally battled within what the hell am I?
I've used my races to my advantage. 3,
I don't know how you can use being black to an advantage. The world hates... I can't say that.
So I feel like I just have to say that when writing college essays, every single one of my essays was about being half Iranian and half white. When I was...
Alright, so I just want to clarify that statement. there is a negative connotation towards brown skin. Black and brown people across the world. The darker, the worse they are. And I know it ain't the majority. You know, I don't need those comments. But we gotta address that there are some preconceived notions and negative connotations towards darker skinned people in the world. No matter like their ethnicity or nationality. It's just brown is bad across the board worldwide. Thanks, Europe. If you can't sense that sarcasm, well, there you go. But let's get back to it.
Applying for scholarships, that's what I would talk about because it was something that I really felt passionate about, but also that something that I knew would catch people's interest. And I think I don't feel guilty about using that because I think it's a double-edged sword and there's lots of repercussions for being mixed race too.
Well, I kind of interpreted it differently. Like, I haven't really abused my power like that. Like, sure, that is a way like that, but like, I haven't done anything else besides that on like my college apps.
So I don't know if I can do this, but maybe I'm gonna like straddle these two. You can't do that. Okay, then I'll like daintily pose over here. But like, my grandma was Jewish, and I did go on Birthright, which is a free trip for people of Jewish descent. And even though I don't like identify a lot with the Jewish religion, I did get a free trip to Israel out of being part Jewish. So I guess that's like
that's a perfect
kind of
example
to my advantage. But I really loved my time there.
Hey,
got a
free
lot
trip.
out of it. Yeah.
Free trip.
Yeah, but you know.
I've like gotten like jobs for being half Asian, for like I worked at mostly predominantly Asian businesses, and as soon as I say I speak fluent Cantonese, I got the job.
But that's like a skill.
I know.
Like,
it
you
is
can
a
be
skill.
proud of it. It's a
no,
skill
I
that you
love
have.
it. No, trust me, but it does get me job opportunities better than other people who are like, you know, white or black who get the same positions, but they would hire me because I'm half Asian and like I speak the language and stuff.
Okay, I
This is a
moved because
smart
I was
business
thinking
move.
more about the question. When I first heard the question, I was thinking like, do I have any kind of advantage? And then I was thinking about how like being part white does give me some privilege and like some advantages, but I don't think I've used that for like scholarships or any of that. And I try to really stay conscious when I'm in like an Asian space to not take up too much of the space because of my whiteness, you know? Like it's like
But
it's a
still
fine
your
line.
space. Like, you're still
Yeah,
Asian.
I guess I've always been kind of cautious about that. But thinking more about the question, I was like, no, I should be on this side.
The issue of racism can be solved by interracial love.
No, it can be solved by people being decent people.
This is from the audience?
Thank you. I'm glad none of you agree.
There are way too many articles about an interracial couple where it's later find out that the white part is saying a racial slur about their child.
Yes.
Just to boil it down to
Thank
like
you.
love. It can't. It
Thank
really
you.
can't be done.
First of all, that. Second of all, there's a lot of, sorry to name names, but like a lot of white women who want to get with black men trying to achieve their light-skinned baby who's like just the perfect amount of tan with the perfect amount of curls.
Yeah, like raise your hand if
Call
you've
them
heard
out.
someone be like, oh my gosh, I would have such gorgeous mixed babies. Like,
Yes.
definitely heard that, and we're all gorgeous. Don't get me wrong.
Call them all
But
out.
That's super problematic to say, one. And two, I'm over here because like there is like no one solution to racism.
Let me make it really clear that a white person having a kid with a black person does not mean that that person does not have racist tendencies or is not discriminatory
Yes,
at all.
yes,
I
yes.
love my dad to death, but
I'm living
sometimes
this-
he just says
living.
things where it's like
I'm living
you
for this
shouldn't be
video.
saying that.
Plus, like, even in like a future, if like America becomes super mixed and like everybody's mixed, if not racism, we'll still have like colorism and
Yeah.
different nuances within racism. It's not going to go away just because people are more mixed. Like, you can say like mixed people are the future or whatever, but it's not going to solve racism.
People are always going to find a way to divide. Always. Even if we were all gray, they'd be like, oh, he's dark gray. Like, that was a great video, bruh. That was a great video. Like, I appreciate this video, like, because it's touched on topics that I always enjoy speaking on. Now, I ain't gonna go on because y'all got, a lot of my commentary throughout the video. But all I want to say is, yes, we're all mixed with a lot of things. Technically, we're all mixed kids. I know this fair skin and almond eyes didn't, come from one group of people. That's just the way genes work. But I identify as a black man. That's all I can identify as. That's all I've grown up around. I know nothing but, black culture. I'm proud of who I am. I know also, they were touching on the basis of colorism, And I know in the world, in my personal life, that say it's me and say I have just a brown skinned friend, a darker skinned friend, I know they're more likely to run into a racial issue than I, because of my fair skin. And therefore, that's why I feel so strongly on these topics and speaking out against them, because I personally never really dealt with a heavy instance of racism in my whole life. Maybe I had a security guard follow me once, but compared to a lot of stories that my friends had told me growing up, them just being stopped by cops for no reason and whatnot, that upsets me. That's still my people at the end of the day. Racism, yeah, that's not going anywhere, unfortunately, until people just get these outdated ideals out of their brain and just be decent people. But I'm glad to have you decent people following me. I love all of you. I know you guys love me. Big hugs. Come here, bring it in. Alright, big hugs. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll catch you all in the next video, and until next time, peace out.